I will do that. Uh-oh. 1 minute. All right, it's 7. Stu, can you get me some water? It's fine.
Shabbat Shalom. For those who don't know, my name is Melissa Immel, and I co-chair the RPC, and I will be leading us through the service tonight. But more importantly, this is Linda Needel.
Not more important.
Because she will be doing the music tonight, which is critical. Thank you, Linda. And she's also going to help. She's also part of the RPC, who is sponsoring the ONEG tonight, and she's also closer. So
I am?
thank you, Linda.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you put me on there when I wasn't at the meeting?
Yes.
I figured.
And Mike is on the tech tonight. And Michael, how many do we have on Zoom tonight? We have 2 people. Okay, welcome. Very good. The weather is just so bad. We were not expecting a whole lot of people tonight. So we will begin our service on page 128, just by acknowledging how pleasant it is that we can worship together.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יא לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Thank you. Page 127, we will read in English together. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. And Linda and I will light the Shabbat.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Page 125. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life.
Let me learn to pause only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat Shabbat.
reference, the Shabbat bride is a metaphor representing the marriage between God and the Jewish people. We sing about that marital relationship every Shabbat evening. And so I understand we have two folks at home muted, but don't let that stop you from singing in your home along with us. Please turn to page 138 as Linda leads us in Lecha Dodi.
We will do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'li tehila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nehesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tehila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumi ori, Uri, Shidaberi, Kivod Adonai alayich nikla, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla.
If you can, please rise, turn around and face the entrance to greet the Shabbat bride.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha uv'sahala, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabla. You may be seated.
This is a part of the service where we greet one another. We turn around, wish folks a good evening, Shabbat Shalom. So you have a moment to do that now. People are saying they can hear me.
Can you hear me? Yeah, she doesn't like to sing. Did you know you were supposed to wear that? Oh, okay. As soon as it's ready, I'll look at mine.
Yeah, it's a tough color.
You're wearing maroon. We'll be done at 7:30. We'll be done at 7:30. I know. So I didn't need something to stand on. Huh?
About Crystal? No, I didn't get it. I was running around here.
What did you need? You wanted her to come?
She's okay with it, but it was last minute, you said? Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay, so you talked to her? Okay. Well, she lives so close. She what? Well, we can handle it. There's nobody here. And don't be putting my name on the spreadsheet without me knowing about it.
I tried to put everything, like make it look decent out there, but also put it on disposable stuff so that we just like wash dishes.
Okay.
Because tonight is the Katie's birthday. I might need to
All right.
spend some time with her. Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right, we should,
So I'll need everyone to remain standing when they get back to their seats for the call to worship.
I know, it's not time to schmooze. We're going to continue with our service on page 146
We're going to mingle
with
during
the
the
bar,
Oneg
with
time.
the Baruch, the call to worship.
Which is page 138.
No, it's not. It's page 146.
She's right.
That's why I'm here.
That's why she's here.
Baruch hu et Adonai ha'mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. Let's read together on the bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
We continue with the watchword of our faith, the Shema, on page 152.
Please rise if you're able.
Thank you. Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated, and we will continue with V'ahavta on the next page. V'ahavta.
Et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The Mi Chamocha praises God for the miraculous rescue of our ancestors from slavery by splitting the Red Sea and allowing them to pass unharmed between the walls of water. Please join Linda as we sing the Song at the Sea, Mi Chamocha, page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norah tehilot, osef eleh, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai himloch le'olam va'ed, ve'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, uga'alo mi'ad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael.
This brings us to the Amidah, which is the core of every Jewish worship service, and literally means standing. It refers to a series of blessings recited while standing. Tonight, we will recite the prelude to the Amidah and continue with silent meditation. During this quiet time, you may turn to page 166 and meditate on the words of the blessings, or you can pray whatever is in your heart. Please rise, and when you have completed your private prayer, you may be seated to signify that you are ready to resume the service.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
We complete the Amidah with an English reading on page 179, Grant us peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May the contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes, strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, hambarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
All right, so I will list the names of those in our community who are in need of healing. Adele Friedman, Barbara Chansey, Kamala Beal, Fred Balkin, Harriet Coleman, Harvey Mallon, Kathy Lazarski, Marcy Sherloff, Mike Gordon, Natalie Litovsky, Philip Chansey, Ray Lee, and Tammy Light. Linda now will lead us in the Mishabirak on page 371.
Anybody else care to add any names? Anybody online?
Oh, Pat, yes? Denise Gordon, okay.
Page 371 in the middle. Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha leimahotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Great, this is the part of the service for the Drosh. I heard there was some technical, or I wasn't speaking loud enough. Does everyone hear me? Okay, great. So we have a double portion of wisdom tonight because Parsha Chukat and Balak are combined, which doesn't happen every year. Chukat is the 39th reading from the Torah, and the word means statute. Balak is sometimes the 40th reading and was the name of the Moabite king in the days of Moses. This week's portion is particularly meaningful to our congregation because it is the last portion that Sig chanted for us 2 years ago. He was in home hospice and chanted via Zoom. His brother also joined, and they were both wearing red. We learned that night that they deliberately wore red, and they did so every year because the portion begins with the story of the red heifer. So some of us today are wearing red. Some of you must have seen my Facebook post. Thank you for continuing in this lighthearted tradition of Sig. There is a lot to unpack in this week's reading. We have, of course, the mysterious ceremony of the red heifer, the infamous tapping of the rock twice for water, the death of Aaron, the bronze serpent and resulting plague and healing, several battles with neighboring countries. Balak summons Balaam to curse Israel, the talking donkey, and Israel's worship of Baal, the false god. So I want to share two thoughts for tonight's message since we have two portions. The first one is, be a peacemaker. Why did Israel weep for Aaron for 30 days? Aaron was 123 years old when he died, a ripe old age, full of years. 30 days is the customary term of mourning for a close relative, and Aaron, as the high priest over the congregation, was like a close friend, a close relative to all of Israel. According to Jewish tradition, Aaron was especially beloved by all of Israel because he was known as a peacemaker. He was like a family member to each person because he had made peace with their families. Rabbi Hillel used to say, "Be one of the disciples of Aaron, loving peace and pursuing peace." One traditional teaching about Aaron says that when husbands and wives quarreled, they would seek out Aaron. He would counsel them with words of peace and bring reconciliation to the relationship. He was so good at making peace between husbands and wives that he had many children named after him. It remains a top 100 baby name. I looked it up. It's number 71. Another popular folk tale about Aaron says that when two men were fighting, Aaron would go to the first one and say, "Reuben, I was talking with Simon, and he was saying he's feeling really bad about this fight you are having, and he wants to make peace." Then Aaron would go to Simon and say, "I ran into Reuben. He was telling me that he's feeling awful about the fight you're having and wants to make peace." When the two men encountered each other, they would assume the other wanted peace. They would embrace and set their argument aside. These stories about Aaron remind us that we are called not only to be peaceful people, but also to be peacemakers, particularly for those in positions of leadership. Those who are called to lead have to be peacemakers. Does that mean leaders have to agree with every decision or circumstance that happens? Of course not. But a peacemaker is someone who, through strength and knowledge, establishes good relationships between those arguing. A peacemaker is a leader who seeks to create calm within the storm, as opposed to adding to the division. Peace means equilibrium, understanding, justice, mercy, caring, and harmony. To be a peacemaker means to quench the desire for revenge. However, peacemaking does not mean seeking peace at any and all cost. A peacemaker is not an appeaser. He or she is not a person who is easy to shove around or someone who refuses to take a position. An effective peacemaker doesn't ignore injustices for the sake of making peace, for that would tip the scales of justice even further, create confusion, empower the one doing wrong, and destabilize the target even more. We are not talking about a wimpy leader. This is tough stuff. This leader does not avoid confrontation, quite the contrary. This person is a skilled and highly empathetic leader, and I think we are blessed here at Temple to have that kind of leadership here. The second thought for tonight's message is don't be a chronic complainer. Why? Because God is listening, or at least according to this week's Torah portion. God hears our words and weighs our hearts. As the Israelites complained about the daily provision of manna, God heard their words and sent a punishment of poisonous snakes. So the question is, why did God use snakes? Rashi explains that God chose snakes for two reasons, both based on the serpent in the Garden of Eden. First, the serpent who was punished for speaking slander was sent to punish those guilty of speaking slander. And second, the serpent in the Garden of Eden was punished to eat dust all the days of its life. So God sent the serpent who was punished with a diet of dust to punish those who were complaining about their diet. The irony is just off the charts on this portion. When we allow ourselves to slip into self-pity and critical spirit, we are modeling our behavior after the serpent. When we show ingratitude and complain, we are speaking the serpent's native tongue. The solution is repentance. The Israelites went to Moses and said, "We have sinned because we have spoken against the Lord and you. Intercede for us so that he may remove the serpents from us." As soon as the Israelites asked Moses for forgiveness, he interceded on their behalf. Rashi points to this as an example for how we should be quick to forgive others. Rashi says, "From this we learn that a person who is asked for forgiveness should not be so cruel as to withhold forgiveness." Moses interceded, and the Lord instructed him to make a bronze serpent. He was to set it atop a pole. How mysterious. I mean, When those who were suffering the effects of the venom looked at the serpent, they were cured. How did the serpent on a pole heal people? The sages explained that it was faith in God and obedience that resulted in the miraculous healing, not any magical property of the bronze serpent. I'm fascinated that the staff entwined by a snake is still a symbol for medicine and healing today. So there you go. The two takeaways from tonight's message. Be a peacemaker, particularly if you're a leader, and don't be a complainer. Shabbat Shalom. This is the part of the service where we talk about birthdays. All right. Cody Brown.
Who's that?
He turns 25, a quarter of a century. That's my son. I'm sorry? Yeah, it's surreal. It really is. So Sarah's daughter, I'm not sure I know how.
Aoife.
Okay, thank you. Beverly Davis and Aaron Schwartz. And we have a 60th wedding anniversary, and that's Marcy and Martin Werdy?
Werdy.
Werdy, okay.
My
that's
parents are
Amy.
celebrating 64 years
Oh my goodness,
this week.
oh my goodness. Okay. So we turn to page 586 for Elenu. Please rise.
And we will be at the top of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liyoser breshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoset haaretz, umoshav yikaro bashamayim mima'al, ushchinat uzo b'govei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Recently passed, Annette Darlin. And we think of those who have passed in this season. Florence Parrish Kravitz, Ida Casavan, Laura Marshall, Lillian Rosenthal, Mary Chansey, Peter Toshman, Rabbi Leo Walko, Riatha Freeman, Sarah Klein, Suzanne Gordon. Those in mourning, oh, I'm sorry.
And also Stu Robinson passed away.
Oh, thank you, yes, thank you. Those in mourning, please rise. Those who are observing yard site, please rise. And if it's your custom to rise during the mourner's Kaddish, please do so now. We're on page 598. Yikadal v'kadash shmei Rabbah, ve'amal divrach yortei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, va'agala u'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekusha brihu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. So we do have a few announcements. I guess the office is probably closed on Tuesday for the 4th of July. Yeah.
Is she open Monday?
I think so,
I
yes. Yes, it is. Next week is the LGBTQ Pride Shabbat. June is Pride Shabbat month, but unfortunately, we had to push Pride Shabbat out a week, but so we hope that you guys can attend that. We also have Rabbi Mika's installation that, Mark, I should know this, what's the date?
Saturday, August 12th.
Saturday,
Right
August
down this
12th.
road.
Right down the road. It's going to be a very lively and fun and festive event, so we would just encourage everyone to, I guess the tickets are probably for sale on ShulCloud? Yes, okay,
Yeah,
great.
there was a link in the bulletin today.
Okay, great. And there's a Sisterhood membership breakfast meeting. Pat, do you know anything about that by any chance? Okay, great. And Mr. President, do you have anything else to add to our announcements? I see this in the bulletin. Are we still promoting the Israel trip?
Yeah, we still have till July 15th to sign up for the trip, the congregational trip to Israel. So there's still time. If you haven't signed up yet, go ahead and do that. We can send you information about that, or talk to Terry Weiner about that. As far as Rabbi Mika's installation, notices will be going out shortly to put ads in celebratory messages that you can put in for $18, or you can buy a business size ad or a quarter page up to a full page to help us celebrate Rabbi Mika. Actually, it's her installation, and it happens to fall on her first anniversary weekend here, so that was
And it's
more than
and
coincidental.
It's dinner, right? It's dinner and entertainment.
Oh yes, it's dinner, it's lots of entertainment, fun
And
and
beer.
games for the kids, all kinds of stuff going on that
And
day.
beer.
And
And
beer.
beer, well, you've
You
got
have to buy your
your own beer.
BYOB, buy your own beer.
Right.
Right.
But you can, we'll have other beverages.
Because
as
it's
well.
at the brewery.
That's going to be at Hopkins Farm Brewery. Thank you for that question.
5 minutes down, not even 5 minutes, right? It's pretty,
It's like
close.
2 minutes
2
from
minutes
here.
down the road, yeah.
You could walk there from here, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I'm not walking.
The Brotherhood.
We have our first, outside of the enclave of our, my Stu Needel, Brotherhood President, July 12th, a week from this Wednesday. We're meeting at Panera 7 o'clock, Panera in Delaware, for a first all founding members present general meeting. So it's pretty exciting. It's open to everybody, but it's just ironic that Shehechi on the moment we're all going to be there.
Men and women?
Women are invited.
Oh.
We're open to women. You just have to have an affiliation.
And I wanted to crash it, but you're welcome.
You're not crashing it. It's open to men and women. You have to have an affiliation with a synagogue of some kind. So either members,
You drive by?
religious school, ELC. Love to have you. 7 to 9, roughly. Lots to discuss, lots to talk about. Love to have you there.
Thank you, Stu.
Go Brothers.
So we're going to end our service or conclude our service on page 626, Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Cheloheinu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Chemalkeinu, Mi Chemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Shabbat Shalom. The oneg tonight will be in the lobby just because we still have some of the rummage sale things in the social hall. So looking forward. I'm sorry? Oh, so the rummage stuff is for the taking. Okay. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mindy. Oh, you know what, Linda? Because we use these all the time, I'm going to put them on the shelf from here. Oh, it's locked.
Recording stopped.